So you're looking to move to Northwest Arkansas and you've narrowed it down to wanting to build or buy new construction. Well, today, my friends, you're like many of my other clients that end up moving to Northwest Arkansas, but just aren't quite sure about navigating the new construction process. Well, I thought I'd take some of their topics that they're concerned about and help deliver those questions and answers to you. Things like, what does the speculative home market look like? What is the new builder process? What do timeframes or upgrades look like? Maybe what are some of the community developments that might be considered when looking for new construction homes? My friends, I've got 10 topics to cover with you today. And these are in no particular order, but do have some consistent theme. You're going to notice on each and every topic that the answer really could be, it depends. And it depends because we don't know what one builder's doing now versus what they did last year. And is that a process they're continuing on into the future? Or did they change their process as they're developing their business practices also? First on our list, let's talk about the variety of builders that you can find here in Northwest Arkansas, anywhere from Bella Vista all the way down to south of Fayetteville and far west to Siloam Springs and east to the other side of Beaver Lake. Now, if you're up in Bella Vista, you'll notice that the roads are very winding and not very grid pattern-like. So we don't have our major developers up in Bella Vista, but there are hundreds of builders that are buying lots and building spec homes and customs in Bella Vista. Now, as we're looking at that, please understand that Northwest Arkansas does offer high production entry-level homes all the way up to high quality, low production custom builders. Depending on your lifestyle, school district, and maybe even the budget that you're looking to try to stay within is going to determine which type of builder you might be attracted to. Some of the higher production and lower budget of entry builders we have in our area are Schuber Mitchell Homes, Roush Coleman Homes. We have a national home builder with D.R. Horton that's also building at a high production rate also. Buffington Homes has a presence here in Northwest Arkansas, and they build anywhere from your 400 to $1,000,001 range, depending on the neighborhood they're currently building. Some of our high quality builders are OAK Builders up in Bella Vista, HVM, Lance Johnson Building Company, Payne Construction are some of the higher end builders that are in Northwest Arkansas. Of course, my friend, doing a quick Google search, you can find many other high quality builders, many mid-grade and productive builders. Again, it just depends on your budget, location, and maybe some of your time frame factoring in there as to which builder you might be attracted to. Second on our list is, let's talk about the speculative home market. You might have heard of builders building spec homes. Well, a spec home is a speculative home that a builder knows that you're probably going to buy at a certain price point. Let's talk about the $400,000 to $600,000 price point, for example. We know that here in Northwest Arkansas, a $400,000 to $600,000 home at the shooting of this video is probably going to be somewhere between 2,200 and 2,600 square feet, a 4-bed, 3-bath, slab-on-grade home with a 2 or 3 car garage. Now, many of those builders building those spec homes also understand that you as a consumer would prefer granite or quartz countertops. You would also prefer a certain type or level of cabinet finishing in the property. As they're building their spec homes, they're going to build those with the anticipation that someone like you or I might like that home in that neighborhood, in that school district, in that price point is going to buy that home. Could be very well possible that you're driving around Northwest Arkansas and see a spec home being built and ask your realtor, ask even the builder, hey, when is that going to be finished? Are there any changes that can be made? That's certainly something we're going to get into here in a little bit. But many spec home builders in Northwest Arkansas, again, from Bella Vista down to Fayetteville and everywhere in between. It just depends on what builders may have started developing a neighborhood or what builder group might have grouped together to start building onto a current neighborhood or building a new neighborhood altogether. Moving on to number 3 is talking about those custom or semi-custom builders that are here in Northwest Arkansas. Semi-custom builders typically have a few different floor plans that they already have that they've built before, and maybe you can modify a few things, maybe move a wall over here or expand the garage or turn the garage from a front load to a side load garage. Those semi-custom builders might also allow you to change out different finishings, might allow you to add onto the house as part of the build process versus those speculative home builders, they're building that home that specific way, or the high production builders, they're going to build that home that way, unless you talk with them from the absolute start. That way you can pick out your plan, pick out your colors, pick out the finishes that you might want in the house. Again, later on in the video, we'll talk more about picking out your specifications, but of looking at the different levels of entry-level builder, spec home, semi-custom, and then full custom. Now going back to the full custom, those builders are ground up. You're going to work with their design team on what colors. You might even work with their architect or bring your own architect to the picture in conversation with the builder to talk about what specifically you want in your new home, and then they can design your home based off of the conversations that you've had. Many of these custom home builders probably don't have a lot for you to build on. You have to go with your realtor and find your own specific lot that you want them to build this property on. It could be very possible that some of these semi-custom builders, especially in a developing community or a master plan community, they might have builder-owned lots in those neighborhoods that you can choose from. Now that we've established different types of builders that are available here in Northwest Arkansas, let's move on to number 4, which is community developments. A couple neighborhoods I'd like to draw your attention to are Oak Tree, Aurora, Scissortail. All 3 of these neighborhoods are part of a master planned community. From the start, they had organized a group of builders that they would like that have a certain level of standard to uphold the quality and build quality that they'd like to have in that neighborhood. These neighborhoods have neighborhood amenities like pools, pavilions, maybe even playgrounds, the 3 Ps of a developing neighborhood. And again, are developed with a builder group in mind. So a builder might go in, there might be 300 lots available in this neighborhood, and one builder might say, hey, I'll commit to 50 of those lots. So they buy or acquire 50 of those lots to develop. They might spec out a couple properties on those lots, and they might wait for someone to come along and say, hey, I want you to build that same house, but could you change this and change this? And could you also build it on this specific lot? That's a possibility, but my friend, as you're looking around Northwest Arkansas, understand that those are few and far in between. So if you're looking for that high-end custom builder on a specific lot in a neighborhood, it's going to be hard to find. Here at number 5, speaking of affordability, I like to believe that Northwest Arkansas is still fairly affordable for you to buy a new construction home. Again, depending on where you're looking to be. Are you looking to be in Bentonville, Centerton, Springdale, Fayetteville, Rogers, Bella Vista? What town are you hoping to end up in would also determine the price of the home that you could probably afford. Better school district, higher price point. Closer to town, higher price point. And conversely, farther away from town, the lower the price point, typically. Let's go back to that price point I mentioned earlier, that $400,000 to $600,000 price point. I said that you could probably get somewhere between a 2,200 and a 2,800 square foot home. Put that same price point in, say, a market like Dallas or Denver, and you're probably getting a townhome or a condo. You're not getting a single family property. For your knowledge on new construction prices, we're past that $200 a square foot price range. You could still probably find a new construction somewhere in Northwest Arkansas around $200, $220 a square foot. But we're very much above that $225 to $250 range. On that $225 to $250 price range, you're going to find those spec and semi-custom properties in that price range. Again, depending on if you maybe already have the lot or if you need to budget the lot into that price. Looking for a higher end custom, you could be well above $300 a square foot. And if it's downtown Bentonville, you could probably add another couple $100 a square foot to your new build cost. As you can imagine, with a custom build, you have your cost of acquiring the land, your cost of acquiring your contractor, a cost of acquiring your architect, and so on all throughout the process. If you're looking for that land that doesn't have electrical or septic or sewer to the property, you're having to bring that on site, and then in turn your costs going up. So when you're looking at maybe a spec home builder or a semi-custom builder or a builder that owns in a neighborhood developing lot, some of those costs are a lot more controlled, and you can also control a little bit more of the build timeframe, which we'll get into a little bit later in the video. Number 6, modern design trends. Now, I don't know about you, but I remember the 90s all had that honey oak cabinets in the bathroom, honey oak cabinets in the kitchen. Everywhere you saw in the 90s were honey oak cabinets and probably some type of brass light fixture or brass faucet in your bathroom. Then fast forward to a few years ago where you had amazing gray, you had agreeable gray, or some other type of grayscale that if there wasn't gray floors or gray walls all around, you were like, I don't want it. I don't want that. Well, my friend, the designers that are helping these builders design these spec homes and custom homes are also considering what are the upcoming trends. What are the next desirable features that people like you and I that are building a home or wanting to buy a new construction home are looking for? Are we looking for that soft closed drawers and doors on every cabinet in the house? Are you looking for quartz countertops or granite countertops? Are we going back to Formica? Probably not. As an example, because our market, our tastes have changed. over time for micro countertops, maybe for the budget entry countertops, and maybe you want to change those countertops after a few years. But if looking at a spec home or a semi-custom or a custom home, you have a level of expectation that you're going to get these types of finishes in the property. You'll also notice around Northwest Arkansas in the fall time, usually around August, we have the NWA Parade of Homes. Homes that are in the $200,000 range all the way up to the $2 million range, showcasing those builders who build that home. So you can go in and see what type of quality and finish each builder will provide you in your finished product. Modern design trends that you might see in the market that you're currently living in as you move to Northwest Arkansas. Again, depending on the level of build in which you're looking to achieve, you might be able to bring some of that design element into the home that you're building. Here at number 7, let's talk about the building process. If you're looking for maybe an entry-level builder, they may have spec'd out 10 homes already and you just go in and pick one. Or maybe you find that you like that budget entry builder and you say, hey, we want to build from the ground up. We want to select our plan. We want to select our colors. We want to select our finishes. That process, typically from the budget entry builders all the way up to the semi-custom builders, is about a 10 to 12 month build process. From contract, once you've decided on that home and once you've decided on your features, usually 10 to 12 months is going to get you into your new home. Now, if you're going to that semi-custom to the full custom build, as you can imagine, as we mentioned earlier, the more custom you start making your home, the more elongated the process typically could be. And because there are less custom builders than there are higher production builds or homes available, it may very well be that that builder, that custom builder, might not be able to start on your custom build for anywhere from 6 to 12 months before they can actually start on breaking ground, maybe clearing the lot or bringing utilities to the property. That build process, you really need to factor that in when you're looking to make a move. I find as I'm helping clients move here from all over the country, maybe they choose to move to Northwest Arkansas and rent for a year while they're looking for that new home. Or maybe they decide to rent for a couple years or buy an entry home into the market that they can keep as a rental property while they're building their new home somewhere in the community or the lot that they have chosen. My friend, as you're looking at homes online, maybe you haven't contacted me just yet, but as you're looking on maybe Realtor or Zillow.com or one of those other syndicated websites, please understand that many of the spec home builders in our area don't put their homes on the market on the MLS or on those syndicated websites until they've reached the drywall phase. The reason for that is by the drywall phase, they've already picked out the countertops, the light fixtures, the plumbing fixtures that they're going to put in the home. They don't want you, no offense, coming in and messing up that process. And I say that negatively, but the truth of the matter is they know production-wise, if they can market the home at the drywall phase, they've already picked out the carpet and the tile and the flooring. You as the new homeowner would come in and say, yep, I agree with that. That's great. Sounds good. Sometimes, it depends, they may allow you to come in at that process and say, hey, if you haven't picked out the paint yet, could we pick the paint color? If you haven't picked out the flooring just yet, could we maybe change the flooring or maybe a light fixture or two? That's a possibility. What is also possible, it's happened numerous times to my clients, people just like you, they're saying, hey, Anthony, I see this beautiful home online, but unless you know what to look for, my friend, you might not know that you see this beautiful home, but down in the corner it says, these photos are of a like home with similar finishes. Very well could be a home that they've built in a different part of the country, in a different part of Northwest Arkansas, and that home might actually be vastly different than what you see online. You might see quartz countertops in this photo, but what they're actually going to put in that spec home are granite countertops. So some things to keep in mind as you're looking at those photos online in the build process. So kind of capping up this section, you might find a spec home builder that has a home that's going to be finished within a couple days. To whereas you might have a custom home builder that, depending on material costs, depending on material availability, depending on the lot, depending on site approval and permitting process, could take years in order for you to build. Number 8, let's talk about lot options. So many people reach out to me and say, hey Anthony, I'm looking for a wooded lot with a lake view that's in this school district at this price point. My friend, once you start doing that, we really narrow down what's actually available. And what I typically find is people get pretty frustrated with that process. We have to really tease out what are the priorities when it comes to the lot that you're looking to purchase. Obviously, if it's in a master plan community, here are the lots that are available, here's what you have to choose from. and you pick one over the other. Some might have a lot premium that's $10,000. Some might back up to a pond or be on a cul-de-sac and have a lot premium of $25,000 or $30,000. Again, depending on the builder and the level of build in which you're going. If you're looking for that 1 to 3 acres, my friend, the closer you are to Highway 49, notice here on the map, the closer you are to Highway 49, it's very likely that you will be in a 1/4 acre to a 1/2 acre lot situation. If you're looking for an acre or more, maybe even up to 35 or 50 acres, you're going to want to go farther west out towards Gravette, Cater, Gentry, to Farmington, Prairie Grove, or even on the east side out by the lake, but you're going to have some of that undulating topography. So depending on your goals, but the farther you go away from Highway 49, you'll start to notice that your dollar will stretch further, not only on the existing homes, but on lots and size of lots that are available for you to be able to develop your new construction custom home. On the lots, when it comes to school district, when it comes to proximity to town or drive time, that's where we really factor in what is important to you, where you want to live, not just what does the lot look like, but where is it in proximity to how you're going to live your life. Here at number 9, my friend, I'm going to warn you about the costly upgrades that can happen in this build process. You might see a beautiful lighting fixture that you see at a lighting store, or you might see a certain carpet or flooring that you see at a certain store. When you're building with a custom builder, you have typically a budget. They might give you, here's a $25,000 flooring budget for the house, or here's a $25,000 electrical budget for your light fixtures and all the lighting throughout the house. When we're going back to spec homes and we're going back to that semi-custom home, be careful on those costly upgrades. The one where they say, hey, here's what the house is like, but do you want the chef's kitchen? Do you want the extended patio? Would you like an extra bump out to your primary bedroom? Well, it's going to cost you this many dollars. Of course, my friend, as I've helped other clients design their new construction with a spec home builder, my advice to you would be put everything on the list that you possibly could want. Then let's look to see what the price looks like, and then back off those things that are maybe nice to have that you don't necessarily need in your new build. And you, in your decision-making process, could decide on, are those things wants, are they needs, and in consideration with your broker is when the time does come to resell, will that thing be nice to you, or will that thing be a selling feature to help you resell that home whenever that time comes down the road. Last but not least, here at number 10, I want to talk to you about model homes and new builds to go and visit these properties. A builder here in our area called Buffington Homes, they have a model home. Many other builders like Anderson Construction, they have a model home, maybe not in this neighborhood, maybe in another neighborhood that they're developing. Of course, my friend, they're going to put all the bells and whistles in there. They're going to put in the chef's kitchen. They're going to put in the best lighting package. They're going to make sure the countertops and cabinets and everything are dressed to the nines. But as you go through those properties, what that tells you is, here's what this builder can put in this home. And maybe it's a spec home builder, or maybe it's a semi-custom builder. As you go in and visit enough of these properties, you'll be able to determine, here's the standard of quality, here's the standard of product that they put in their build. For instance, there's a builder up in Bella Vista that I'm helping a client buy a home through right now. They build higher end spec homes. They're already putting in the higher quality finishes in their homes instead of having the client decide to add to the budget. Instead of having the client decide to upgrade, they're already putting in the 18-foot wide, 8-foot tall insulated garage doors without the buyer having to ask for it. As I'm helping folks walk through properties and seeing these homes with them, I'm going to point things out like, hey, did you notice that there's black windows on the outside and there's black windows on the inside? I know for one that that is a more upgraded window package versus a white vinyl window on the outside and white vinyl on the inside. Many people aren't looking at those details, but as we're going through and we're looking at homes together, we'll be able to determine the quality and level of finish per home that we look and what builder is offering what. Of course, there's always a trust but verify process. Maybe that builder was offering this certain feature in this neighborhood, and as they're building over here, they're not building that same level of finish. We have to know. So as we said from the beginning, it depends on the builder and what they're doing per neighborhood. It depends on the builder and what they did maybe last year versus what they're doing next year. Maybe they installed this type of product and realized that's a lesser quality product than we'd like to include over here, and that's why the price of this home is more expensive. My friend, I trust this has been helpful and beneficial to your research about new homes in Northwest Arkansas, and now you know a little bit more about what life is like in and around Bentonville. Thanks for watching.